So, I realized I had not made a picking ear corn video yet for this harvest. And I came out to pick some of the last ear corn. We've been storing it out in the field. It's actually been standing really good. You can probably see everything's got snow cover on it. And the ear corn picker broke. I'll have to show you what I did to fix that for the time being. But I'll get you some video of picking ear corn. I would venture to say that I'm the only one out picking ear corn on this cold February day. But I'll have to show you what I did, what broke, and then eventually I'll have to take it up to the barn and weld it, but I made it work for the day. So, ear corn picker. Yes, I know. I am pulling it with the 3288, and that is more than enough horsepower for it, but it needs sitting out on a Farmall M, I think is what you guys recommend I pull this picker with, and being out in the cold, snowy world. Running it slow today, just over, I believe, 3 miles an hour. Right at 3 miles an hour. Not running it at full RPM because, I mean, that picker is substantially older than me, so there's no reason to run it hard. But I will bring you guys back. I might get you some video on the picker. This tractor's actually really nice. I got a mirror so I can look at you guys and right next to it and see the picker in the mirror and how everything's doing. But I'll bring you guys back. Need to grind feed tomorrow, so I'm gonna get some ear corn picked before dark, hopefully get a wagon load, then grind feed tomorrow, maybe come back out and pick another wagon load and grind that too. But I'll get you some video. Alright, so kind of funny. While I was recording this video right now, I got a notification on my phone. Somebody commented on one of my last year's, or the year before, I didn't look at the date, I guess, of the picking ear corn. And yes, we do use a wide row picker, so we're probably knocking over a tiny bit of corn compared to if we had a narrow row. And they said that there's probably just as much corn left on the ground as going in the wagon. And you can see, like, there's a couple little kernels there, but the ground is not littered with corn all the husks are empty. And some of this is head shell because it's bouncing off the head and it's very dry. I mean, this corn is very dry. But there is definitely not more on the ground than going in the wagon. I just thought I'd say that. There is a little hole in the bottom of the spot where the corn drops right after the husking bed, and it leaks some kernels of corn out. When I go up and weld up the picker, I will probably put some weld over that. But like, see, I knocked over just a little bit of corn there because we have the wide row, but it's not like I'm knocking over a whole bunch, and it'll pick some of that up. That head will scoop it back up, and gathering chains will take it up into the wagon, or up into the head, and then it'll end up in the wagon. All right, now before I even show you the video of the husking bed, I know it is going to be gathering up right along here before it drops down and the elevator takes it up. It's not a huge deal. The paddles are homemade. Dad actually made these. See, he took flat bar, drilled holes in it, and then this is conveyor belt, right, 1/2 inch conveyor belt. You can see some of them are just starting to come apart. We've been using them for 3 years. The reason we have these instead of the fingers that originally came on it, those fingers all dry rotted out and they weren't touching the corn, doing anything, pushing it down. And we looked into buying new fingers, and they were like $20 a piece or something, and it has like 50 some of them. So you can imagine how much that would cost. I don't know if you could get a bulk deal on them, but even then, these costed the price of 5 bolts per paddle and some flat stock that we probably bought at an auction for pennies on the dollar. See, nuts on the back. Like I say, they're coming apart, but that's still stiff, so it keeps the corn moving. And like I said, yes, it's gonna bunch up down here. That's because we have the husking rollers opened up just a little bit. That way they don't plug up and jam and hammer the hammer clutch. We don't mind a little bit of husk and stalk getting into the wagon because it's just getting ground into cattle feed. It doesn't need to be super clean. It's just a little extra forage for them. So I'll get you a video of in the husking bed now. I'm out here picking ear corn. Got off the row a little bit there, but I'm on the 856 today. I ground that last load that I picked. It was yesterday now. That I showed you guys me picking it yesterday, and the 32 is hooked up to the feed grinder, sitting up there. 1086 hooked up to the feed wagon, and the 856 wasn't hooked up to anything, and it was 40 degrees out today, so I figured I'd fire it up, bring it out, get to picking some more ear corn. I'll go up and grind this as well. Not a lot left. I don't know if you guys can see where it ends, probably 15 rows over. But 856 is doing good. I'm just hoping we don't break through the frost in the ground because it is wet out here. So I'll bring you guys back if anything interesting happens. Okay, got a load of ear corn picked. Got it hooked up. I told you guys earlier in the video I'd show you this. So this bracket right here, you can see welds are broke both sides, and this bracket is the pivot for the elevator, so you can use it to adjust the height, and this bar connecting to this bracket keeps it from the tongue, because this whole bar actually pivots from separate from the hitch. So that's how you adjust your head up and down. So you'll pivot the bar using this hydraulic cylinder. It'll push this back, and then obviously when this is not broken, it turns that whole bar on the tongue, which will raise the head up. So the head was all the way on the ground like it is right now because it's unhooked, obviously. So I hooked a chain up to here and brought it down underneath this bar and found a bracket back there to hook it to that is also attached to this tube, and I chain bindered it down real tight. I can't pick up the head quite as high as I should be able to, but I'm able to pick up the head enough that I was able to pick. So like I say, I'll just have to come in here, grind this clean, get all the tension off of it, get it set back on there right, maybe add a new little plate there, but not a huge deal. Just was annoying, had to fix that before I was able to come out and actually pick ear corn. But I got 2 loads picked with it like that, so it works.